We gave him, 6 years to kind of figure it out and build some teammates around him and give him some talent and see where he goes. And I just think we haven't seen it.
Well, Victor, it's always good chatting with you, man. How have you been lately? I know you just celebrated your birthday in Germany. What was that like?
I'm good. The birthday was great. I got to go out to Germany. Unfortunately, the Giants didn't pull off the win, but I still had a great experience. I got to do a lot of things in the community out there with the Giants and just meet different people and just move around Munich, which was great. I had my daughter come out and hang out with me for my birthday, obviously out in Germany. So she had a blast out there. She was really excited to be out there with me and to go to the game. And she met Malik Nabers and the whole thing. He signed her jersey, which was pretty cool. So she had a great time. So I couldn't have asked for a better birthday.
All right, Victor. So no sugarcoating it, man. I know it's rough times for the New York Giants.
Rolling your sleeves up, Kansas.
I know. We're getting serious talk right now. I know the Giants, the team is 2-8. They just benched Daniel Jones. In your opinion, how did things get this bad for a franchise that not too long ago was winning Super Bowls?
That's a good question. I don't know if I have a direct answer on how it's gotten. I think it's been over the course of years, just a multitude of injuries and just talent. I mean, I think it's just been a sheer lack of talent over the years. I think this year was probably the best pool of talent that we've had on our entire roster, but we just for some reason haven't been able to put it together, offensively at least. I think defensively we've done some really solid things. I think we have a great core of defensive guys to move forward with. Obviously, every year you always want to add depth and add players, but I think defensively we're great. We just haven't been able to be in a position offensively to score points and to score points at a high clip, which I think you have to have now in the NFL. And, we've just been lacking in that department. And I think the benching of Daniel Jones yesterday was just indicative of that. I just think they've gotten to a place where they've seen enough from him and are looking to just make a change. And not just to Tommy DeVito, which I think he's going to get a tremendous opportunity, obviously, as a starter and prove his worth, not just to the Giants, but to all teams around the league. But I think it was a rebuild move for the entire team moving forward to see where we are when the season ends and see where we go in the draft, to see if we can get a quarterback and get one of those guys that can turn this team around and put some energy into and just be into them for the long haul. It's not about getting a guy that's going to turn our franchise around tomorrow, but getting a guy that you can build with, similar to how we did with Daniel Jones. We gave him, 6 years to kind of figure it out and build some teammates around him and give him some talent and see where he goes. And I just think we haven't seen it. And I think they're looking to go in another direction now.
Right. The time I have met Daniel Jones, nothing but a very kind man. So I say this with all due respect. But I would love to know your opinion. Do you think it's going too far to say that investing in Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley will go down as one of the worst sports decisions of all time?
That's I mean,
You're
I think
smiling.
when you look at the body of work, I think when it's all said and done, yeah, I mean, you'll have a claim for that. You can definitely say that, and I think the Giants made a decision. The GM and ownership made a decision on who they wanted to keep and who they prioritize more. I think my biggest gripe is you let Saquon walk out the door with nothing in return. I think that's where we kind of dropped the ball a little bit. It was like, okay, we franchised him 1 year. If you knew you weren't going to keep him back the following year, if you knew that the number for him was going to be too high or something that you didn't want to kind of meet in the middle on, then trade him and get something back for him, get some draft picks, get some things that you can build off of for years to come. Because losing a talent like that, it's hard to replace. And we haven't replaced it obviously this year from a statistical perspective. So we'll see what happens in the future. But sure, yes, you can on paper you can make that claim for sure.
Tapping Tommy DeVito to take over at quarterback. What do you make of that decision as opposed to going with Drew Lock?
I think it's kind of a spark. I think Tommy DeVito, obviously, the last time he's played, he had he galvanized New York Giants land and, with the whole Italian vibe that he comes with. And I think it's just trying to salvage whatever they can from an energy perspective for this football team and this organization. I think it's a rebuild mode. I think we're going to go into this draft and go into this offseason trying to figure out what we want to do at that position. But I think for the time being, they want to lean on Tommy and see if he can just continue to bring some energy back to this football team. And if guys can rally around him and he can use his energy that he's had in the past to galvanize the troops a little bit and just put some smiles on some faces and get some solid quarterback play on the football field that we've been used to from him specifically. Win, lose, or draw. I think people just want to see him go out there and compete.
Yeah. Time to look at the future here for a second. So the Giants have options on how they do want to proceed when it comes to quarterback. Free agency, you've got the draft. I want to start with the free agents. So I want to give you two names that you already, or that are already floating around. I want to know which one you would like better. So Sam Darnold or Justin Fields, which one do you think makes more sense for the Giants?
That's a good question. I like Justin Fields. I think in this league, you need an athletic quarterback that can do things when the play breaks down and do things with his legs and move around the pocket and be a threat running the ball as well as throwing it. So I think Justin Fields gives us the best opportunity to do that. If you look around the league at the Patrick Mahomes, the Lamar Jacksons, the Josh Allens, like those guys are mobile quarterbacks that also can throw the ball and like throwing it from the pocket, but they're always a threat to run the football outside when they catch you sleeping or when they catch you in an advantageous position for the offense. They're going to run the ball and make you pay.
I feel like also Sam Darnold going back to MetLife sounds a little scary for both the Giants and Sam, So very good pick. Understand that. Moving on to the draft, at least for right now, there are two big names, Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward. Which of those young guys would excite you the most coming to the Giants if you had to pick one?
Well, I love both of those guys. I think they're both extremely talented and both like ready to take the next step to a professional team. I like Cam Ward. I think seeing him, watching him all season long, come from behind, and when his team is in, when they need him to be great, when they need him to score 14 points in the fourth quarter, when they need him to make the big play or make the big throw or do it with his legs, he's been able to come through for his football team. I think it says a lot about a guy when they come from behind that many times and they're able to galvanize the team and able to make the big play to kind of come back from behind and win in the fourth quarter. So I'm excited to see if he can continue that trend and continue that same level of confidence at the next level. Although Shedeur has shown me nothing but great quarterback play and greatness from the pocket all year long, obviously having a slew of receivers and guys to throw the ball to in Colorado. But I like Cam Ward for just his tenacity and him being able to bring his team back from being down in the fourth quarter, I think like 4 or 5 times this year.
On a positive note, do you have any favorite players you like watching on the Giants right now?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think I love Tyrone Tracy. I think he's a guy that's just splashed on the scene and just like he's just been a breath of fresh air for us, just running the ball. He's extremely talented, has a ton of things to offer us from the running back perspective, and I think he's going to be fun to watch for years to come. Just excited to see him grow within the offense and get better and better with each and every game and each and every year is going to be fun.
You brought up Malik Nabers and your daughter getting the chance to get a jersey signed by him, which is really cool. Despite the team not looking too hot, he could be on track to have a 1,000-yard season. Do you think he can do it?
I think he can. I think obviously Tommy DeVito is going to lean on him now more than ever. He's going to be getting a bunch of targets. So I think he's going to do it, man. I think he's going to have a 1,000-yard receiving year. I think he's one of the most talented receivers that came out of that draft and in the league thus far. I think it's also like it's tough coming in as a rookie being wide receiver number 1 for the New York Giants. You know what I mean? Like it takes time to kind of get comfortable with that and start to relish in that a little bit. So I look forward to watching him grow and mature within this offense. And obviously step 1 is getting a quarterback for him next year that can throw him the ball and put him in position. But I'm excited to watch him grow and just see how far he can take his career, man. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. As a former player, what would be your advice to him about playing through the tough times, keeping a positive attitude towards a franchise that is in a rebuild right now? But what would be your advice to him about, staying positive?
I think I would just tell him to just, understand that he's came into this league and came into this team as a leader. And I think he just has to understand that he's a leader on this football team and he has to act that way. He has to move that way around the building and continue to stay positive no matter what's going on around the football team. So I think obviously him staying level-headed and staying positive throughout the course of the year is going to be important for this team to keep everybody together. But I think he understands that. He understands that he came into this team as a leader and he has to maintain that camaraderie with everybody else and that leadership role, so that everybody else stays on track and continues on path to having some sort of success this year.
Hey, sports fans, if you want to see more conversations with athletes and stars, check out these videos right here and be sure to subscribe for more from USA Today Sports.